In 2004, when I joined the program, I was handed the big book, as we affectionately call it in the program. I wasn't quite ready to read it since I knew that it was written in the 1940s or 50s, and it felt very old timey to me. I knew that it was written by two men, Dr. Bob and Bill Wilson, and one of them was a New York stockbroker, and the other one was a doctor. And their mission was clear. They were going to try to help save the drunks. It just felt old timey and like I couldn't relate to them. And a lady that I sat in a meeting with, she had said, "You're sitting in a room full of rock stars. We all think we're the craziest. We just like to be the life of the party." So the correlation between sobriety and being cool, it hadn't clicked yet. And now, thankfully, I realize that being sober is cool. So I'm going to share with you today some famous actors, actresses that you may have heard of who are now clean and sober. You don't have to agree with their political stance because that's an outside issue, and we keep that out. We focus on our main goal, which is recovery from alcohol and drugs. So before I was ready to open up the instruction manual, the big book, I had found a book online that said, "Cool, Hip, and Sober 88 Ways to Stay Clean and Sober." And I read it because I thought, this guy's interesting to me. He was a Hollywood producer, writer, and he hobnobbed with some of the most interesting actors and actresses at the time. And he had found sobriety. So that I could grab onto. The fact that I was reading about recovery was good. So it doesn't matter where you're at, where you're leaning towards, just get into the fact that being clean and sober is cool. So here's a list: Robert Downey Jr., Bradley Cooper, Drew Barrymore, Jamie Lee Curtis, Samuel L. Jackson, Demi Lovato, Ben Affleck. I don't know if he is or not, but at least he's trying. Kristen Davis, Ewan McGregor, Anthony Hopkins. Now that man, he really is cool. Here's some musicians who are clean and sober: Elton John, Eminem. I'm going to keep my opinion of him out of it because if he has fans and they're struggling with addiction, maybe by seeing his example, they can try to get clean and sober. Lady Gaga, ugh. Steven Tyler, Eric Clapton, huge fan. That man is pretty cool. I actually went to a meeting in Denver once and I heard that he frequented it. And I thought that was so cool. I hoped that I would run into him someday, but alas, I didn't. Keith Urban, Florence Welch, Florence and the Machine, Noel Gallagher, James Hetfield, Metallica, Macklemore, but sadly, he passed. And I don't know if he passed because of his addiction or not. So why I read this list is to show you that people who are often creative, intellectual, expressive, sometimes they suffer from addictions. And the coolest thing you can do is try to recover. But the nature of the disease is progressive and fatal. And that's what I want viewers to understand. You may long to have sobriety and to be clean and sober. It's through daily effort. There is no magical cure. It even says in the book, we are not cured. We have to develop spiritually. We have to keep on striving day to day. The best advice I could give to someone who's newly sober or wanting to maintain their sobriety is by finding someone who's struggling. What we're given must be shared with others. And that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. Is if you can find someone who wants to be clean and sober, give them the big book, let them know that they too can get clean and sober. They don't have to die from this. I looked up a Bible verse this morning about the 10 lepers. And the reason I bring this up is one of the first meetings I went to, a gentleman said, "Welcome to the largest leper colony on the planet." And I've mentioned it before that we're an island of misfits, or the largest colony of lepers, however you want to look at it. By going back and giving thanks, that is a tremendous superpower that you hold. By going back and saying to the newly sober person who wants to get this thing and is struggling to maintain their sobriety, saying, "I get it. I understand. Just keep coming back." And by finding someone who is lost on their journey of addiction, by saying, "I was where you were at. I understand," especially the pain of early sobriety. And by going back to a meeting and saying, "Hey, I'm a leper. You can do this one day at a time." It's our special and unique way of giving thanks to the program who accepted us when no one else would. And by saying, "I get it. I get you. You're okay." So if you want to be cool, if you want to be a rock star, getting clean and sober is where it's at.